Stop right there. You're about to discover a message that will change everything you know about your finances. Yes, you heard that correctly. God Himself has delivered this message, and it's specifically for you. This isn't just another motivational speech or a feel-good story. No, this is much bigger than that. This is a direct, divine intervention into your financial situation. But here's the catch. Most people won't get it. Most people won't even see it. But you are meant to receive this blessing. So if you think this is just another video, think again. You can't afford to miss a single word. Let me ask you something. How long have you been waiting? Waiting for that breakthrough, that financial miracle that seems just out of reach? What if I told you that today is the day it all changes? That right now, you are on the verge of a life-altering moment? Because God is about to release a flood of financial blessings into your life. Blessings so huge that they'll make everything you've gone through, every struggle, every sleepless night, worth it. But here's the kicker. You must stay until the very end to receive this miracle, because missing even a second of this message could mean losing the blessing God has been preparing for you. This isn't a coincidence. God's timing is never random. The reason you are here right now, reading this very message, is because your financial breakthrough has been scheduled for this moment. Yes, God has been planning this for you all along. But here's the shocking truth. Most people won't receive it. Why? Because they won't take it seriously. They'll click away, they'll get distracted, and they'll miss their chance. But you're different. You've been chosen to hear this, to receive this, to finally unlock the door to the financial freedom you've been praying for. Imagine waking up tomorrow and never worrying about money again. Picture your bank account overflowing, your debts wiped away, your financial stress melting into peace. It sounds too good to be true, doesn't it? But this isn't just a fantasy. This is God's promise, and it's about to be fulfilled in your life. But here's where it gets real. Not everyone will step into this blessing. Only those who are truly ready, who are willing to act in faith, will experience the financial miracle that's about to be poured out. And you don't want to be the one who looks back and says, "I missed it." God has prepared this moment just for you. Yes, for you. You've been waiting, hoping, praying for a sign that things will get better. And here it is, staring you in the face. But it's not enough to just listen. You have to claim it. You have to be bold enough to say, "Yes, this is for me." Because if you hesitate, if you doubt, you could lose this opportunity. This could be your only chance. God is ready to bless you with unimaginable wealth, but only if you're ready to receive it. So I'll ask you again, are you ready? Because what happens next will blow your mind. Money is coming. Let that sink in for a moment. Money is coming. But not just any money. This is God-ordained, life-changing financial abundance that has been set aside just for you. You've waited long enough. You've been through enough struggle. Now is your time. But you must take action. You can't sit back and expect it to fall into your lap. God is giving you the tools, the message, the guidance, but it's up to you to reach out and take it. Here's what most people won't tell you. God's financial blessings are real, and they're closer than you think. But the difference between those who receive them and those who don't is simple: faith and action. Right now, you are standing at a crossroads. One path leads to financial abundance, and the other leads back to the same old struggles. Which will you choose? Because the path to wealth, to financial freedom, is laid out before you, but you have to be willing to walk it. Let me be clear, this isn't just another chance. This is the chance. The one you've been praying for. The one you've been waiting for. The one that will finally break the cycle of financial stress and bring you into a life of peace, joy, and abundance. But here's the catch. If you don't act now, if you don't claim this blessing, someone else will. God's blessings are for those who are ready to step up and say, "This is mine." Will you be that person? Time is running out. Every second you wait is a second that could be standing between you and the financial miracle that God has in store for you. This isn't just another video or another message. This is divine timing, and it's calling your name. You can't afford to let this pass you by. Money is coming, and it's coming fast. But it's up to you to be ready. Will you claim your financial blessing today, or will you let it slip through your fingers? True transformation happens when we pay close attention to what God is trying to communicate. It's no coincidence that you are here, listening to these words right now. Every challenge you face today can be the catalyst for a financial miracle, a financial blessing that God has specifically prepared for you. Think about the times when something seemed impossible, yet suddenly, a door opened where you least expected it. That's the kind of breakthrough God has in store. When we talk about miracles, we often think of the grand and the impossible, but sometimes, the most profound miracles are the ones that happen quietly in the heart. God's message for you today is about transformation, both inside and out. Whether you're looking for financial success or a shift in your mindset, it all starts with aligning yourself with His plan. And no, it's not about waiting passively, it's about active faith. That's when the abundance of financial blessings begins to flow. You may be wondering, why now? Why is it that you are hearing this message at this exact moment? The truth is, God's timing is perfect. He knows what you need, and He knows when you need it. Perhaps you've been praying for a breakthrough, a financial blessing, or a miracle that will change the course of your life. Today could be the day that everything starts to shift. Pay attention because God is speaking directly to you. Transformation doesn't always come in the way we expect. Sometimes, it starts with a small change in perspective. What if the financial abundance you've been waiting for is already within your reach, but you haven't noticed it yet? God's message is clear. Open your heart, trust His plan, and the financial miracles will follow. There's an invisible thread connecting your faith to the blessings you seek, and today, that connection is being revealed. In life, there are moments when we feel stuck, unable to see a way forward. It's in those moments that God whispers to us, urging us to trust Him. His plans go far beyond what we can see. The financial success, the prosperity you've been longing for, it's all part of His grand design. But to receive it, you need to be ready to act on His word, to trust that what He has in store for you is greater than you can imagine. Have you ever felt a nudge in your spirit, a quiet voice telling you that something big is coming? That's not your imagination. It's God preparing you for a financial breakthrough, for a shift in your life that will bring you into the prosperity He has promised. The money you've been praying for, the success you've been dreaming of, it's not just a hope, it's a reality that's waiting for you to claim it. When God speaks, transformation happens. But it's up to us to listen, to be still enough to hear His voice. Sometimes, the noise of our daily lives drowns out the messages He's trying to send. Today, make a decision to quiet the distractions and focus on His guidance. What is God saying to you about your finances, your blessings, your future? Take that message to heart, and watch as the miracles begin to unfold. We often think that transformation requires monumental shifts, but in truth, it begins with small steps of faith. It's those steps that set the stage for the bigger miracles. Today, ask yourself, what small action can I take to align with God's plan for my financial success? Whether it's a change in your spending habits, or a new business venture, God is guiding you towards abundance. God's plan for transformation isn't just about your external circumstances. it's also about renewing your mind. Financial success starts with the way you think. If you're stuck in a mindset of scarcity, it's time to shift into a mindset of abundance. God is calling you to think bigger, to expect more, and to believe that financial blessings are not just possible, but inevitable. Think of the story of David and Goliath. David didn't focus on the size of the giant in front of him, but on the size of his God. In the same way, don't let your financial challenges intimidate you. Instead, focus on the size of the blessings that God has waiting for you. The success, the wealth, the abundance. It's all within your reach if you trust His guidance. There's a powerful transformation that happens when you stop relying solely on your own efforts and start trusting in God's plan. He wants to bless you financially, but sometimes we get in our own way. Are you holding on too tightly to control? What would happen if you surrendered your finances to God? That act of faith could be the key that unlocks the doors to your financial breakthrough. As you reflect on this message, remember that transformation is a process, not an event. God is working on your behalf, even when you don't see it. The financial miracles you're hoping for may not appear overnight, but they are coming. Stay faithful, stay patient, and continue to trust that His timing is perfect. When the time is right, the floodgates of financial blessings will open. God's message for transformation is not just about receiving, it's also about giving. Think about how you can use your blessings to bless others. As you give, whether it's time, money, or energy, you create space for even greater abundance to flow into your life. This is one of the ways God works. Through the act of generosity, He multiplies your blessings. Sometimes, the transformation begins with a simple prayer. Have you prayed for financial blessings today? If not, take a moment right now to ask God for what you need. Be specific, and then trust that He will provide. That prayer could be the catalyst for the miracle you've been waiting for. God's message for transformation is clear. Your financial breakthrough is on its way. But it requires faith, trust, and action. Don't just sit back and wait for it to happen. Step out in faith, take bold action, and watch as the miracles unfold in your life. Surrendering to God is one of the most powerful actions we can take, especially when it comes to our finances. Too often, we hold on to our worries and fears, trying to control every outcome. But true transformation happens when we let go and place our concerns in God's hands. Whether you're struggling with debt, financial uncertainty, or just trying to make ends meet, surrendering your financial life to God opens the door to His divine blessings. Imagine the relief that comes when you no longer have to carry the burden of your financial stress alone. God's plan is always greater than anything we could ever orchestrate ourselves. When you surrender your financial situation to Him, you're not giving up control. You're placing it in the hands of the One who knows the perfect timing and the best way to bring abundance into your life. It's a shift in perspective, from worry to trust, and that's where financial miracles begin. It may sound counterintuitive, but the act of surrendering often brings the greatest rewards. In a world that tells us to fight for every penny, to hustle endlessly, God's way is different. He invites us to rest in Him, to trust that He will provide exactly what we need when we need it. Have you taken a moment to pray about your finances today? That simple act of surrender could be the key to unlocking a flood of financial blessings. We're often taught to view money as something we must control, but what if control is exactly what's holding us back? By surrendering, you're not abandoning your goals for financial success. You're aligning them with God's perfect plan. Think of it like handing over the reins to a master guide, someone who knows the terrain better than you ever could. Surrendering isn't giving up, it's gaining a partner in your financial journey. Surrender doesn't mean inaction. On the contrary, It means that while you're trusting God with the outcome, you're still taking faithful steps in your daily life. That might mean cutting back on unnecessary expenses, or it could mean pursuing a new job opportunity that aligns with His will. Each step you take, while trusting in His timing, draws you closer to the financial breakthrough He has in store for you. There's incredible peace in surrendering to God. Financial stress can consume us, but when we let go and trust in His provision, we find a calm that can't be explained. Think of a stormy sea. When you're in control, it feels like you're being tossed around by the waves. But when you let God take control, He calms the waters. What financial storms are you facing today? And how can surrendering to God bring peace into those situations? One of the most practical steps you can take in surrendering is to set aside time to pray specifically for financial guidance. This isn't about asking for a quick fix. It's about seeking His wisdom in how to manage your resources, where to invest, and how to handle your financial decisions. As you surrender, God will reveal steps you may not have considered before, leading to financial abundance that goes beyond what you imagined. Sometimes, surrendering means waiting, and that can be difficult. But in the waiting, God is preparing something greater than you could ever imagine. It's easy to want immediate answers, especially when bills are piling up, but trusting in God's timing is crucial. The financial success you're waiting for will come, but only when the timing is right. Keep the faith, and let patience be your strength during this period of surrender. Think of the times in the Bible when people surrendered their situations to God and saw miraculous results. From Moses parting the Red Sea to Jesus multiplying loaves and fish, God has always been in the business of turning impossible situations into miracles. Your financial situation, no matter how overwhelming it may seem, is no different. By surrendering it to God, you're setting the stage for a financial blessing that only He can provide. Surrendering to God is an act of faith, but it's also an act of wisdom. When you align yourself with His will, you begin to see your financial struggles from a new perspective. What once felt like an insurmountable challenge now becomes an opportunity for God to show His power in your life. Whether you're seeking a new job, trying to get out of debt, or hoping for financial growth, surrendering is the first step to receiving His blessings. When you surrender your finances to God, you're not only trusting Him with your money, but also with your future. The abundance He has for you is far greater than you can imagine, but it requires faith and trust. He wants to bless you, to provide for you, and to guide you to financial success. The question is, are you willing to trust Him enough to let go of control and surrender fully? There's freedom in surrender. When you release your grip on your financial concerns, you make room for God to move in ways that you couldn't have foreseen. It's like opening your hands to receive the blessings He's been waiting to give you. What financial concerns are you still holding on to, and how can you release them to God today? The blessings you're waiting for could be just one act of surrender away. As you move forward, remember that surrendering to God doesn't mean the absence of effort. It means partnering with Him in your financial journey. He will give you the wisdom, the strength, and the opportunities to achieve financial success, but you must be willing to trust His guidance. Are you ready to take that step of faith today and surrender your finances to Him? Surrendering also means letting go of fear. Fear is what keeps us holding on to control, convinced that if we don't manage every detail, everything will fall apart. But God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power and love. When you surrender, you let go of fear and allow faith to lead the way. That faith will guide you to the financial prosperity that God has promised. Every day is an opportunity to surrender anew. What financial burden are you carrying today that you can place in God's hands? Take a moment to reflect, and then let it go. As you surrender, trust that God is already working behind the scenes, arranging circumstances and opportunities to bless you financially. It's in this act of faith that you open the door to financial miracles. God's plan for your life transcends your current circumstances. No matter how overwhelming or impossible things may seem right now, He is at work behind the scenes, orchestrating something far greater than you can imagine. It's easy to get caught up in the challenges of the moment, especially when it comes to finances, but God's plan extends beyond what we can see. He promises hidden treasures, blessings that are yet to be revealed, as mentioned in Isaiah 45 verse 3. When we face financial struggles, it can feel like we're stuck in a cycle with no way out. But God's plan goes beyond those moments of despair. He sees the bigger picture, and He's working on things that are beyond our understanding. The financial abundance you've been praying for is not out of reach. It's part of a divine plan that's unfolding in your life. You just need to trust in the timing and remain patient as He reveals His blessings. Think about the times in your life when things didn't make sense, but later you realized how God was working behind the scenes. That's how His plan operates, often in ways we don't fully understand until much later. Financial success and abundance are part of the journey, but they often come after periods of growth, waiting, and faith. Trusting that God's plan is always better than our own can bring a sense of peace even in the toughest times. One of the most challenging aspects of trusting in God's plan is accepting that His timing is different from ours. When we're struggling financially, we want immediate answers and quick fixes. But God's timing is perfect, even when it feels delayed. What if the financial breakthrough you're hoping for is just around the corner, but requires a little more patience? Waiting on His perfect timing is an act of faith that brings its own rewards. Have you ever wondered why certain financial opportunities didn't work out? Perhaps it's because God has something better planned for you. It's natural to feel frustrated when things don't go as expected, but remember, His plan is always for your good. He sees the potential in you, the opportunities that are coming your way, and the financial miracles that are yet to unfold. Trust that what didn't happen was making room for something even greater. God's plan isn't limited by the same restrictions we face. Where we see obstacles, He sees opportunities. The financial difficulties you face today might be the very thing that leads you to a place of abundance and prosperity tomorrow. Sometimes, the blessings come in unexpected forms, like a new business idea, an investment opportunity, or a connection you didn't anticipate. Keep your eyes open to the ways God is moving in your financial life. It's important to remember that God's plan is not just about money. It's about your growth, your faith, and your ability to trust in Him. Financial success is part of the equation, but it's not the whole story. What God is really doing is shaping you for something greater, something that will bless not only your life but the lives of those around you. The wealth, the financial freedom, it's all part of a bigger purpose. In times of financial difficulty, it's easy to lose sight of God's bigger picture. We get so focused on the bills, the debt, and the immediate needs that we forget there's a greater plan at work. Take a moment to reflect on how God has already provided for you in ways you didn't expect. The same God who brought you through past challenges will lead you through this one too, and into a place of financial abundance. God's plan for your finances includes hidden blessings, treasures that are waiting to be discovered. Isaiah 45 verse 3 speaks of these hidden treasures, riches stored in secret places. Sometimes, those treasures come in the form of opportunities we didn't see before. Other times, they come as new perspectives, a shift in mindset that allows us to see financial opportunities where we once saw lack. Are you ready to discover the hidden financial blessings in your life? One practical way to align yourself with God's plan is to stay open to the unexpected. Financial miracles often come in ways we least expect. It might be a chance encounter, a job offer, or even a new idea that sparks a prosperous business. Whatever it is, don't dismiss it just because it's not what you were looking for. God's plan is full of surprises, and those surprises often lead to financial blessings. God's plan for your financial success is deeply personal. He knows your strengths, your struggles, and your potential better than anyone else. While you may feel like you're stuck in a tough spot, He sees a way out. He knows exactly what you need and when you need it. Trust in that plan, and remember that His ways are higher than ours. What seems like a setback now could be the setup for your financial breakthrough. We often limit God's plan to what we can see in front of us, but His vision goes far beyond that. He's preparing blessings that are bigger than you can imagine, including financial prosperity that will overflow into every area of your life. The money, the success, the financial freedom, it's all part of the future He's guiding you towards. Stay faithful, stay expectant, and know that the best is yet to come. God's plan is about more than just solving immediate financial problems. It's about setting you up for long-term success and abundance. Sometimes, that means enduring short-term struggles to build the character and strength needed for greater blessings. What financial lessons are you learning right now that could prepare you for the wealth and prosperity God has in store? Obedience is often the key that unlocks doors to supernatural blessings, especially when it comes to financial prosperity. When God calls us to take action, it's not always easy or comfortable, but it's in those moments of obedience that we see the most profound miracles. Financial blessings, success, and abundance come when we align ourselves with His will, even when the path isn't clear. Sometimes, the breakthrough you're waiting for is on the other side of a single act of obedience. Take a moment to reflect on how obedience has played a role in your life. Have there been times when you felt led to make a financial decision, like giving to a cause or investing in something, but hesitated? Often, that hesitation is what holds us back from receiving the blessings God has prepared. The money, the financial breakthrough you've been praying for, could be waiting on your willingness to step out in faith and obey God's call, even when it feels risky. One of the greatest examples of obedience leading to blessing is found in the story of Abraham. When God asked Abraham to leave his home and everything familiar, it was an act of pure faith and obedience. And what was the result? Abraham became one of the wealthiest men in history, blessed beyond measure. The same principle applies to us today. When we obey God's guidance, even in our finances, we open the door to blessings we never thought possible. Forgiveness is another powerful force that can unlock financial blessings. Holding on to grudges, resentment, or unforgiveness creates a barrier between us and the abundance God has for us. Have you ever noticed how much lighter you feel after letting go of bitterness? The same principle applies to your financial life. When you forgive others, and yourself, you free up space for blessings to flow. That act of forgiveness can be the key to receiving your financial miracle. We don't often connect forgiveness with financial success, but they are deeply intertwined. Imagine you're holding a grudge against someone who owes you money. That resentment can block you from receiving your own financial blessings. God calls us to forgive, not just for the sake of others, but for our own freedom. When you release that bitterness, you make room for financial abundance and prosperity to enter your life in ways you never expected. There's a practical side to forgiveness when it comes to finances. Maybe you've made mistakes with money, investments that didn't pan out, debts that piled up. It's easy to be hard on yourself and carry guilt over those decisions, but God's grace is bigger than any financial mistake. Forgiving yourself is just as important as forgiving others. When you release that guilt, you open the door to new financial opportunities, allowing God to bring restoration and prosperity into your life. Obedience and forgiveness go hand in hand. When we obey God's command to forgive, we're not just freeing others from our judgment, we're freeing ourselves from the chains that hold back financial blessings. Is there someone you need to forgive today? Maybe it's a business partner who wronged you, or even yourself for past financial missteps. That act of forgiveness could be the turning point in your journey towards financial success and abundance. God often calls us to acts of obedience that seem unrelated to our financial struggles, but in reality, they are deeply connected. It might be something as simple as forgiving a family member, or as big as taking a leap of faith in a new financial venture. Whatever the case, when we obey, we position ourselves for blessings. The financial prosperity you've been praying for may very well hinge on your willingness to take that next step of obedience. Sometimes, obedience means making difficult choices. It could be cutting back on unnecessary spending, tithing even when finances are tight, or being generous with what little you have. God sees those acts of faith and rewards them in ways you can't even imagine. Financial success doesn't always come in the form of a sudden windfall. It's often the result of small, consistent acts of obedience that build over time into something much greater. One of the greatest challenges in obedience is trusting God when things don't make sense. Maybe you've been called to forgive someone who hurt you financially, or to take a step of faith that feels risky. In those moments, remember that God's ways are higher than ours. What feels like a sacrifice today could be the seed for a future of financial abundance and success. Trust that when you obey, God is already working behind the scenes to bring blessings into your life. Forgiveness also brings healing, not just emotionally, but financially. When you let go of the past, you create space for new opportunities to come into your life. That healing can manifest in surprising ways: unexpected financial blessings, business opportunities, or even a renewed sense of peace that allows you to make wiser financial decisions. Forgiveness is a powerful tool in breaking the cycle of financial struggle and stepping into prosperity. Have you ever noticed how liberating it feels to finally forgive someone? That freedom is exactly what God wants for you in every area of your life, including your finances. Holding on to grudges only ties us down, preventing us from moving forward. When you choose forgiveness, you release those chains, allowing yourself to step into the financial blessings and success that God has been waiting to give you. Obedience requires faith, and faith requires trust. Trust that God knows what's best for your financial life, even when it doesn't make sense to you. He might be asking you to take a step that feels uncomfortable or to forgive someone you'd rather not. But in that act of obedience, you align yourself with His plan, and that's when the financial miracles begin to flow. Are you ready to trust God with your finances today? True financial transformation begins with the renewal of your mind. The way you think about money, wealth, and prosperity has a direct impact on how you experience financial blessings. God calls us to align our thoughts with His will, and that includes our thoughts about finances. If you're constantly thinking in terms of lack, scarcity, or fear, it's time to shift your mindset. A renewed mind sees the possibility of financial abundance and believes in the miracles that God has promised. Your mindset is like the foundation of a house. If it's shaky, everything built on top will be unstable. A strong, faith-filled mindset is the first step toward financial success. When you start to see money as a tool for good, as something that can bring blessings to both you and others, your perspective changes. Instead of focusing on what you don't have, you begin to see the opportunities for financial growth and abundance that are all around you. Romans 12 verse 2 tells us to be transformed by the renewing of our minds, and this applies directly to how we think about money. The world might tell you that wealth is for a select few, but God's plan is different. He wants you to experience financial success, but it starts with changing the way you think. Are you willing to let go of limiting beliefs about money and embrace the idea that God wants to bless you with financial abundance? One of the biggest obstacles to financial success is the belief that money is inherently bad or that seeking prosperity is wrong. But the Bible is filled with examples of God blessing His people with wealth and prosperity. It's not the money that's the issue, it's how we use it and whether we let it control us. When your mind is renewed, you understand that money can be a blessing, a tool that God uses to further His kingdom and bring prosperity into your life. Renewing your mind also means letting go of past failures and mistakes. Maybe you've made poor financial decisions in the past, and they continue to weigh on you. It's time to release those thoughts and embrace the idea that God's grace is bigger than any financial mistake. With a renewed mind, you can approach your finances with confidence, knowing that God is guiding you towards abundance and success. The renewal of the mind isn't a one-time event, it's a daily process. Every day, you have to make a conscious decision to align your thoughts with God's will. This might mean rejecting the fear and anxiety that often come with financial concerns and replacing those thoughts with trust in God's provision. As you do this consistently, you'll begin to see a shift in how financial blessings flow into your life. Faith is the cornerstone of any financial breakthrough. Without faith, it becomes nearly impossible to see beyond the current financial struggles and into the abundant blessings God has for you. Faith isn't just about believing in God's ability to bless you financially, but it's about trusting His timing and His plan. Often, we want quick results, especially when it comes to money. But God calls us to persist in faith, even when the answers don't come right away. Persistence is the partner to faith. When you're waiting on financial blessings, it can be tempting to give up if you don't see immediate results. But God's timing is perfect, and persistence is a sign of trust. Imagine planting a seed. You don't see the fruit right away, but with care and patience, the harvest comes. The same applies to your financial journey. Stay persistent, keep trusting, and believe that the financial success you're waiting for is on its way. Think about the times when you were persistent in something and saw results. Maybe it was saving money for a specific goal or paying off debt over time. It wasn't easy, but persistence brought the result. Faith works the same way. It requires patience and steady belief. When you persist in faith, you're saying to God, "I trust you, even when I can't see the full picture." And that's when the financial miracles begin to take shape. It's important to remember that faith doesn't mean ignoring reality. If you're facing financial difficulties, you don't have to pretend they don't exist. But faith allows you to see beyond the difficulties to the potential blessings that lie ahead. Persistence, then, is about holding on to that vision of financial abundance, even when the current circumstances are tough. It's about continuing to take steps of faith, believing that God is working behind the scenes. Waiting on God's timing can be one of the hardest parts of faith. When financial needs are pressing, and answers seem delayed, it's easy to lose hope. But Scripture reminds us that those who wait on the Lord will renew their strength. Isaiah 40 verse 31. Persistence in faith means trusting that God's timing is not just good, but perfect. The financial breakthrough you're waiting for will come, but it will come when God knows it's the right moment. One practical way to persist in faith is through prayer. Are you consistently praying over your finances? Not just asking for blessings, but thanking God for the financial success that's already on its way. Prayer is a powerful act of faith because it aligns your heart with God's will and opens the door for blessings to flow. As you persist in prayer, you're demonstrating trust in God's ability to provide. Persistence also means taking action. Faith isn't passive, It requires you to move forward, even when things seem uncertain. That might mean creating a budget, cutting unnecessary expenses, or seeking new income opportunities. Whatever it is, take faithful action, knowing that God will meet you in those steps. Persistence in faith often involves practical day-to-day actions that position you for the financial blessings God has in store. It's easy to feel discouraged when financial prayers go unanswered, but persistence in faith reminds you that delay is not denial. Just because the financial blessings haven't arrived yet doesn't mean they aren't coming.